I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be comebacks for cockblockers. I've got an email here from a viewer who got cockblocked pretty good by he was hitting on this girl. He wanted to get her phone number, and I guess one of her girlfriends chimed in and just totally diminished him and fucked it up for him. And he allowed that moment to diminish him. And so instead of walking away with the phone number, he just kind of sheepishly walked away saying, hey, have a nice night. And when you do those kinds of things, when a woman sees you get diminished by one of her girlfriends or somebody else that quickly, that easily, you pretty much have blown it. And so the idea is you want to get good at always having a better, more humorous, more comical comeback. And I did an article, a year or so ago called The Best Comebacks Ever. And so I got a couple quotes that I want to go through here. And this is good for the mindset and the psychology of anything in life, whether you're going in for a job interview or to get an investor to invest in your company, or to get a woman to go out on a date with you, or to give her your phone number. And he says, think of yourself as on the threshold of unparalleled success. In other words, you want to act as if. You want to act, think about it. How would you act if you always get what you want in life? If you're used to people doing the things that you want, and you have the attitude that even if you get turned down today, or you get shot down today, or if things don't go your way today, tomorrow is going to be different, or maybe 5 minutes from now will be different, or next week will be different. You always you have a positive expectation that things will turn out for you, even when they're going in the shitter right now. And it's really important to have that kind of an attitude, because sometimes women are going to throw shit at you and you're not going to know how to handle it. And you're not going to respond to it, because these types of things usually happen when you're not even thinking about it. And that's why I say so much, repetition is the mother of skill. Because until you get really good and comfortable at asking for dates or asking for phone numbers, you're going to struggle in this area. And the slightest inkling of a cock blocker, like, oh my God, her friend's looking at me, or that person in that table over there is looking at me, they're staring at me. Those are the kind of things that you psych yourself out, and women can see it. They can sense it in your voice. They can tell that you're nervous, that you're self-conscious, and that you're not comfortable. And you got to get to a place where you're okay with not looking good. You're okay with getting rejected. You're just interested in going through the process, because you can take it or leave it. Either way, your goal should just be to say what you want to say, whether that means asking for a phone number or setting a date on the spot. And if you can get through that, it doesn't matter what the girl says. It doesn't matter whether her attitude towards you is positive or negative. The bottom line is that in your own mind, you took the action that you needed to take. And even though the outcome wasn't a success, or you didn't get the date, or you didn't get the phone number, you should look at it as a success because you actually took action and you did it. It's like even when I get rejected at times, I still feel good about the fact that I had the balls to do it, and I walked away not really giving a shit that I got shot down or I got turned down. It happens to everybody. Some days you're just having an off day, or you don't feel good, or you're not in the greatest mood, or you just woke up, you're still kind of tired, or you partied and you ate, had a great weekend, and so you're kind of like groggy, clearing the cobwebs out, and these things happen. The idea is not take yourself so seriously and not beat yourself up so much when things don't go your way. And here's another one by Dale Carnegie. He says, most of the important things in the world were accomplished by people who have kept trying when there seemed to be no help at all. Sometimes I get emails from guys and they ask one girl out and it just ruins them for like a month, and they're terrified to ask another girl out. It's like you got to push past the fear. You got to push past when things don't feel comfortable, because your comfort zone is going to be where you're most uncomfortable. And when you stretch outside your comfort zone, that's how you really expand and you become more than you are today. Otherwise, you're just limited by the current mental construct that you have about yourself. And there's another one by Andrew Carnegie. He said, the first person gets the oyster, the second person gets the shell. And so you should think about that, especially when you think about chickening out or not asking a girl out for a date or not getting her phone number. And so let's go through this guy's email. He says, hey, Coach, I'm recently back in the dating scene after a long marriage and the breakup of a long-distance relationship. He says, I turned 50 this month and I really look forward to future growth. Last night I made an approach on a group of women. There were 3 of them. All of them were in their early 30s. To secure a phone number from one of them that I had a casual conversation with in the past. My question is, why didn't you ask for her phone number in the past? Because when you continue to interact with women, they can tell, they can see on your face. And if you're talking to them, they know that you're interested. And so you may think that you're hiding something by not making a move or not asking them out. But when they can tell that you have interest, but then you don't make any move on them, it shows that you're too timid and shy and you lack confidence. And you ask most women, what is the number one most attractive trait in a man? It's confidence, meaning a guy that goes for what he wants without fear, without any worry of the risk or the potential loss or the potential embarrassment of getting shot down. I mean, it happens. And at the end of the day, you got to get through the no's in order to get to the yeses. He says it was the end of the night and I wasn't trolling too hard because the pickings were slim. She was gathering up all the multiple bottles as an attempt to clear their table. I walked up and I said, "Wow, you've got skills." She made eye contact, smiled, and out of nowhere, one of the other girls cockblocks my ass by saying, "You should see the inside of her vagina." And typically when you hear something like that, you just say, wow, you look right at the girl, you're like, is she always like this? And she'll laugh and just say, well, I know how it is. Good friends are really hard to come by these days. Well, let me get your phone number. I got to run. And then you just look right at your phone and look right down at it. Because if you're acting as if, just like what I say earlier in the quote, think of yourself as on the threshold of unparalleled success. You know, as an entrepreneur, like especially like when you're starting a business, especially something that doesn't exist, you have to be good at trying and failing. In other words, as an entrepreneur, most of your ideas aren't going to work. But as an entrepreneur, as a successful entrepreneur, you have to be an optimist. You have to assume that like your next idea or the next thing that you try is what's really going to push you over the edge and take your game or your life to the next level. And so it's important to have that kind of an attitude. And so if she throws that out, you know, a girl throws that out there, cockblocks you, and you just, a great comeback is always, wow, is she always like this? And she'll be like, yeah. I was like, well, I know good friends are obviously really hard to come by these days, but hey, I got to run. I want to get your phone number. And you just look down at your phone and you start flipping through the menu screen to get to where you can put in a phone number. That's the best way to do it because you're acting as if. You're acting as if this is the kind of thing that happens to you all the time. You ask for phone numbers and you're used to getting it. Now, if you stand there and go, can I have your phone number? I mean, the look on your face that energetically or vibrationally kind of says that, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to get rejected. And so let's see how he responds to it. So he says, but I could tell the girl that I wanted the number from was embarrassed because when I turned back toward her, she wouldn't make eye contact as before, and her head was slightly tilted downward. And so that's why using humor and being funny about the situation and communicating that there is absolutely no way that what her girlfriend just said to you diminished you in any way. Who knows, maybe her girlfriend, maybe she liked you too, and she was a little upset that you weren't asking her out. But then again, she just could be a man-hater. Maybe she got dumped or she got rejected or she's pissed off. You know, maybe she's just jealous that you're paying her girlfriend attention, so she's trying to ruin her. You know, misery loves company. There's a lot of people in this world that are like that, that when they see you succeeding, you're a big mirror to them of how they're not. And so you should look at those. Here's something to always remember. No one will ever do or say anything that isn't a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves in a moment. You should always remember that. So this chick's just projecting what's inside of her. But if you always assume that everybody's being playful and means it in a good-natured way, coming back with a confident, humorous response like I mentioned is the best way to handle it. So he says, to avoid projecting a flirtatious contest of who's the alpha with the wrong girl and seeing that the girl I wanted felt awkward and embarrassed, I replied, really? I told the girl that I wanted that it was good seeing her and she looked great. She replied, thanks, and I left. No biggie. I'll see her again and secure her number. Well, you've already pretty much lost at this point because now this is the second time that you've approached her and wanted to get her number but didn't do anything about it. And on top of that, you let one of her girlfriends totally diminish you. And then when you walked away, she probably said, well, he's fucking pretty weak and pathetic. Because obviously, they probably knew that you came over because they probably could tell that you wanted to get a phone number. But since you didn't do anything, you lost. So he says, but I replay that scenario in an environment where I might not see that person again. If I back down from the cock blocker, I'll look weak. If I say what I want to say, I'll project an image of being a player and just saying, haha, your friend is really funny. Sounds like a neutral ride on the fence. So like I said, that's always a great comeback. Are they always like this? Is he always like this? Is she always like this? That's a great comeback to use in those situations. Or you could say, you guys aren't really that close, are you? It's like, wow. And if they say, yeah, she's my best friend, it's like, well, I guess good friends are really hard to come by. And you say, hey, let me grab your number. Or if you really, I just go for it. I'll say, I got to run, but I definitely like to meet up with you for a drink, minus your helpful friend here with all the more colorful metaphors. When are you free to get together? And you say it with a smile on your face, and she'll either make the date or she'll give you some kind of excuse. And then you say, well, when you figure out your schedule, give me a call. I'll see you later, and you just take off and leave. But at the end of the day, if the girl likes you, she'll give you her number. And you'll actually win points by standing there and holding your ground and having a better comeback. So that's what I would do if I were you. But like I said, I mean, more than likely, if you see this girl again and you ask her out, I would say more than likely you're going to get shot down, because that'll be the third time. It took you 3 tries basically to work up the courage, and that is just not something that's going to help your case. Especially like when you walk into a bar and you make eye contact with a girl and she's looking at you, you should not be the first person to look away. And as a matter of fact, if she's making eye contact and smiling, you should walk right over to her confidently and smile and go, hey, how are you? How's your night going? What are you girls up to tonight? That's the easiest opener in the world. That's the kind of thing that you would say to a group of people that you already knew. And so when you start putting out that vibe, it completely disarms them, because now you sound like somebody that they already know and they have a relationship with, or maybe you work together, or like your old high school buddies or something like that. It completely changes the dynamic and the energy. So if you make eye contact with a girl, walk over to her and strike up a conversation. Don't make eye contact and smile and go to the other end of the room because you're too timid or you're too shy. And so if what I just said to you scares the crap out of you, then guess what does that mean? That's exactly what you should do. So have a night where you're going to go out with your buddies and decide to walk right up to all women that you make eye contact with and who don't look away right away. Walk right up and open them up and start talking to them. Be willing to go get blown out and get rejected so you can get over that, so you can experience what getting rejected or things not going well looks like. Because that happens to everybody. Everybody's going to have an off day, and so don't take it personally, but also don't beat yourself up to the point where it paralyzes you with fear like this guy. It took him twice now, and he almost asked for the phone number, but he didn't quite get there. And that kind of behavior, acting that way, is not the way a guy who is successful with women acts. And so next time around, even if it's a fucking train wreck, ask for the phone number, because I promise you, even if you'd have asked for the phone number and gotten rejected, when you would have walked out, you'd have felt great about yourself because you had the balls and you went for it. And positive reinforcement is what builds your success and makes it even easier the next time around. So if you'd like to get my help personally with any kind of challenge or situation that you're having in your life, whether it's dating, relationships, pickup skills, or quality of life issues, health challenges, when you want to change, you want to get a better career, better job, or you're just trying to figure out what's your purpose in life, go to my website right now, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a paid phone coaching session. And I will talk to you soon.